Well, I suppose to answer the last point there on the referendum or the election, I can't say that one is better than the other. If there's people speak in the ballot box a referendum or an election, the people speaking as Democrats, we have to respect what the people say, and it's pretty simple. It's as simple as that, really. On the establishment of on the ways to independence and recognition, what we've got to do is establish the legitimacy of the people's view. Now, we've this is why I'm saying the ballot boxes. It doesn't matter if it's a referendum or an election. The legitimacy of the people, it's their legitimacy. Everything else springs from that. We can't go declaring, we'll wreck the union, or we'll sort of dissolve the union, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. We need the people, Much as I would like to set up independence tomorrow, without the permission of the people, I can't do that. And once we get that, all else will follow. In 2014, I was from Iceland. They were the first lot to recognize the Baltic states. I don't think we asked much permission from Moscow either. And they were ready to recognize Scotland. And we felt internally that for the for the management of this and for good relations, it'd be nicer if London was the first to recognize Scotland, because they're going to be our number one friends and partners after independence. Or at least that was a lot easier when we were in the European Union and we didn't have the mad Brexiteers in charge. But anyway, leaving that to one side, the reality still would be, as the Irish have, it's good relations in these islands are very important. So that would have been one of the things we would have done. And Tommy, I think it was Tommy said it absolutely right. Up to a couple of years ago, I used to say that the Hollywood actors Doris Day and Kirk Douglas were older than the United Kingdom. So when Prime Ministers like John Major once went on about 1,000 years of British history, to an extent he was right, of course, because that's on a geographical term. When people say you want to end Britain, no, you can't. That's the geographical entities, an island to the east of Barra here, east of the Nailing in Year. But he's conflating, as they often do, Britain with the United Kingdom. And the United Kingdom is only dating now from December 1922. That's the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So that was a good point that Tommy raised with us there. But one thing I would like to bring to people's attention, the UK government has said it won't have a referendum, and it says no to a referendum. The UK government has been studiously careful about doing is saying they will not recognise what the Scottish people say, because the international reverberations of that, from Beijing to everywhere else and to their standing, and if they're refusing the will of the people, there are so many knock-on effects. They're not the ones who are saying you can't be independent if you decide to be independent. They're saying you're not going to have a referendum. And as long as our policy is to ask them, can we have a referendum, you can see how easy it is for them to block Scotland. They're blocking Scotland because the only route we're choosing is the one that's directly goes to them as the traffic lights or the signpost. We don't need to walk down that road of the Section 30 to Westminster. There are a number of other ways of establishing the legitimacy of the people. To me, Scotland has three choices. There's the referendum of the Section 30, the road's blocked. There's the referendum of the Scottish Parliament, the road's uncertain, and nobody can guarantee that one. Or there's the guaranteed legitimate event, the most legal event that we're going to have in democratic politics in Scotland for the foreseeable future, and that's the election in May. And we either take that, or we gamble on the Scottish Parliament having a referendum, and if that gamble doesn't work, which it probably won't, we'll find out soon probably with Keatings, we're then down to 2026. And as Tommy said earlier, if we wait that long, we may face a more organised unit against Scottish independence in the way they were in 2014. The one thing they don't have with them this time is the EU's a members club. They won't have the likes of Jose Manuel Barroso from Portugal saying whatever David Cameron wanted him to say because he's looking for backing to be in NATO. They don't have the allies they had. In fact, there is a lot who had sympathies with Scotland in the EU and the EU wider, the European Economic Area, who were a bit shy about saying it because they would be offending a member of their club. The UK is no longer in the club, so offending them is not such a big deal anymore. Again, as Tommy says, the iron's hot. Denise is hinting the same, Ruby's hinting the same. And Denise made a really good point as well, that we haven't exhausted the roots, and let's get at them and let's move this along a little bit. Because just assuming we can't do things when other people are not telling you this, we're defeating ourselves in many ways. So let's just get going and let's push the envelope and see what happens. And we'll probably be independent from June onwards, and all under one banner will be winding down. There'll be no need for them. And I wouldn't get my backside kicked again in a few months' time in another Zoom night about SNP policy.